Hello, dear friends. Here is Renan, aka Inside Mind, and I'm really happy to be here today, sharing a bit of some tips and some knowledge. And the project Inside Mind, it's a project that born like 12 years ago. So I've been in the past decade working a lot on music production, and since I started producing, I always made sound design and synthesis because it's a process that always fascinated me. So it's gonna be really cool to share with you today a bit about my last release that was the Inner Helms pack, a Serum 2 preset pack with 100 presets, really well developed. And today I want to share with you a bit how I would use these patches, how they are sounding, especially on the mix of the tracks, and some other tips that I'm going to share with you today. I already have one bass here ready to go. So basically, it's my main template that I use every time I start a new track. So it's a kick and bass with a rack. So I already have all the notes exported here. And also I'm going to just to say a bit about a future release on Alterverse that is going to be a bass pack. So soon we're going to share with you a really killer bass pack with 10 types of basses. Also I already have here a drums group. Just the bass ready to go and to start a new track. So every time I start a new track, I don't like to make everything from scratch, like the kick and bass and the drums, for example. I like to start from a template that I already made before. I already spent like really good amount of time to make this template, so I can use to make like few new tracks. So I can focus now on the development of the arrangement and the ideas. So let me just check first the note of the bass, the root note. So it's D sharp. So I'm going to work on all the sounds over that. And I want to share a bit of my workflow that I use to make my tracks. So after I already have the kick and bass and the drums ready to go, I like to start from an element that's gonna like bring the feeling and the theme of the track. And normally these kind of elements are the melodies for me. So for me, the melodies and the harmonic sounds gives more that thematic feeling, and the feeling of the track more than FMs and this kind of sounds. So I'm gonna pick here the Serum 2, and I'm going to use some of the presets I already did before, especially from the Inner Helms packs. And okay, I want to navigate here in Helms. And first I'm going to pick one of those Arps. So let's see. All those sounds are like developed in a way that it's just right a straight note on the piano roll, especially on the octave 1. So I'm gonna just put one straight note here. And the note I'm using is D sharp. So it's that. The pack is like really ready to go. And all the sounds are developed in a way that it's just drop. And then you can tweak some macros and some stuff. And like I said, to start the track, I like to start from these melodic sounds. So let's choose another one. There is many options here. I like it that astral dimension. Let's see. Cool, really cool this one. Okay, let me go back here. I like it a lot of this astral dimension. And like I say, there is many options here you can pick to start the track. After I pick one that I like most, this is gonna reflect a lot on the final result of the track, because like I said on the beginning, this will define the theme of the track. So if I come here on the ARP, I already know that this is from a Frisian bank. So I'm gonna also replicate that on the bass line. So after I pick the melody, the main melody, I like to replicate the same melody on the bass line to make like the groove and the main melody like almost equal. So the groove feels like, how do I say, connected, and you know. Let me try making from here. I can consolidate this. I'm gonna apply here D sharp and a Frisian scale. So bass line and the main melody, same scale. So the grooves, to make the groove like almost the same. I can push 1 octave here. Then I can put like 1 octave and one semitone. Here it goes 2 semitones down. I think it's missing one of the notes here. So yeah, go to C sharp. I can put like, and I can go playing like in the same scale as the ARP that's gonna fit well both bass line and the melody. So even that it's just one element on the track, when we are linking the bass line with the melody, it already gives a really good sensation in the track. So I can just make a loop here. I pick like... Now we can play with some automations as the groove, it's already aligned with the melody. I can pick here, for example, the filter, make opening. As the other macros here, there is this many macros, so we can modulate over the time to bring more tension, to bring more movement. So this one also, it's a good modulation. Also, the FX is one that I really like to make tension, so it's gonna open the delay and the reverb. So it's gonna make like the sounds come from the middle and then go opening, getting more wider and bigger. And this gives like a really good tension on the track. It's like a smooth tension. Really cool. So with just few modulations, you already have a sound like ready to go. And we still have other macros here to modulate and play with some other things. But cool. I already have the main melody of the track. This is already giving the feeling of the track. That's why I like to start with these melodies. And the melody is already aligned with the bass line, both in the same scale, almost making the same pattern. And now I can start with the answers and the questions. So as we already have a bit of tagged time here, I'm gonna just keep one melody. But normally in my tracks, I would make like more 3 or 4 melodies in the same scale so I can use in other moments of the arrangement. And I like to do that first, like before even touch on the arrangement, so I don't get stuck at after. I will focus on picking the main elements of the track, choosing which ones are the best, and after that I will like arrange them, see where it goes on the track.
One thing about the bass line, can we quickly have a look on the melody and the bass line? You said you kind of like set the notes similar. Can you also open the Serum on the ARP? So
Yeah, so it's basically one semitone up. I could do like, if even better, like with this open, I could match to do like exactly the same.
yeah, that was basically my question. So if you take all the notes over or just some, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like, for example, this first note of the bass line, that is the one that is hitting together with the kick. I like to keep on the root note.
So that's
So it's,
stable or kind of.
yeah, it's, the phases are gonna be more stable. So for example, here on the first compass, it's gonna move the last one. So I could like push this one up to E1. Oh, we are in D sharp, yeah. This one goes 2 semitones down. So here, for example, these ones would be this one that hits together with the kick. So I will keep there. And now this one, I'm gonna put 2 semitones down. And as I already have 2 notes on the last quarter here of the time, I don't like to let like using always the quarters. I prefer to, if I use this first one on the quarter, this one I would use on the offbeat. So it brings more a nice, a better groove on the track. Okay, so here coming back again to the main one, and then after here goes one up and one down. I could do like this or even like this. It's really cool because it gives a really nice drive on the track, right? When it's a lignite, the melody and the bass line. It reinforces that this main melody, it's the theme of the track. So I would use this bass line on the whole track, like making the progression, of course. But I also could make more new sounds using the same pattern, you know? So everything will be aligned with a main idea, a main melody. And yeah, at least for me, helps giving more like a kind of identity for a track, you know?
Yeah, I have the feeling this even applies to kind of like this grid things as well. I mean, they are kind of like all root note, but they still have like a feeling of a pitch. Some of the FMs, for example, are higher, some lower. And I feel sometimes on really good tracks that even those effects kind of like communicate the same melody or the same groove from before, you know?
Exactly, man. One thing that I really like to do is using the bass line itself to make some other sounds. So, for example, I could pick that and drop here. And as I use the bass line, I would just drop 1 octave up and feel where I cleaned for the kick, like that. So now the lead is making the same melody as the bass line. And it helps even more to align the theme and all the idea. It's really
That's cool.
nice, right?
That's cool. It's really nice. Yeah.
So sometimes we feel stuck on the tracks, we don't know what to do, but it's just like the workflow. Since the beginning, you need to define what is the theme of the track, so you can always pick that when you feel lost, you know? Oh, what I do now? Just go back on the main melody, the main idea of the track, and use that again with new other sounds. So with this mid, I could duplicate infinite and make a lot of new sounds just using the same pattern. And it will be much easier to make the new sounds fit on the track, you know? because everyone comes from the same pattern, so it makes much more easier.
If you want to get some free samples from the pack, you can get them by clicking to the link in the description box below. This will take you to a page here, and if you enter your email address, I will send you an email where you find the samples and also a code where you can get the pack a little bit cheaper. And we also made a second part to this interview in which we show tricks about grids and more. If you want to see that, then click that video next.